What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the free trading game collection. If you want to check out the playlist, it can be found in the description. And without any further ado, let's go straight to the best shop on the high street. No, not McDonald's. We're going to CEX. Of course we are. So, in the last episode, we did stuff. I can't remember what it was, though. Of course, I remember. We picked up a Switch. That's actually what is playing behind me in this video. So, we picked up a Switch. Spoiler alert, it was 60 quid. I also had a game with it. Took that in, used the remaining credit. Picked up Untitled Goose Game, which is by far my favourite game that I've played this year. I know it didn't come out this year, but it was still fantastic. But it's time to take a little bit of a step back. We're going to spend some money here today. This is actually a game I bought a long time ago. And it's a game that you kind of need to have, even though I don't really see myself playing it too much. I do kind of want this on the Switch, if I'm honest, but I've picked it up on the Wii U for the time being. It is, of course, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. I've been looking for this for quite a while. It's not a game that is that difficult to get hold of, but the one in my CEX always had chew marks in the corner. Finally, someone else has traded one in. It was only £6 at the time. I bought this a long time ago, so I have no idea how much this is worth now. It may have gone down, it may have gone up, it may be the same price. This is, I would say, complete, but did they ever come with manuals? I really don't know. One thing I do know, though, I needed it for the collection. I don't have that many more Wii U games that I need to put into my collection that I really want. There's probably 10 to 15 in total. I'm not going for a full set. I'm not going to buy them for the sake of it. I say 10 to 15. That is open to expansion over time, but for the time being anyway, that is another one to add to the shelf. Then I went to the boot sale. Now, in this particular boot sale, I did pick up a fair bit and it resulted in credit, and I did go to a CEX and spend that credit, picked up a few things, but I will show you most of that, if not all of that, in the next episode, because we do have a few things I kind of just want to clear off the backlog here. So in this particular boot sale, I'm not going to show you any games right now, but I did pick up two very small things. They cost me 50p for both of them, and they are little Mario mushroom things. I'll give you a little close-up on the shelf, maybe. I looked at them. They didn't have anything else on the stall that resembled video games. It was just these two. Recognized them straight away, of course. The red one does have a couple of dents. The green one is pretty decent. There's maybe one dent on the top. But I'm on the lookout for things like this. I want to fill the shelf that you see behind me with Nintendo-related items. So it houses the Switch now. We have our Switch collection, the Switch box from my actual Switch, not my secondary. We have the Wii U, the Wii, and all the rest of it that goes on this shelf. And I want to fill it out as much as I possibly can with Nintendo-related items. So 25 pence each, essentially, for those. We've spent £6 on Mario Tennis. So far we are £6.50 down. Now though, I'm going to do something that I don't do very often, and I may make a video about this in the future. I'm going to sell something from my collection that is worth more than I paid, that I don't ever see me playing, so why do I have it? And it's a Switch game. It's actually Asterix and Obelix XXL2. I bought this in Regenerate, my local pawn shop. I think it was $7.99. I've played it a little bit, and to be fair, I didn't really know much about it. I didn't play the original, and I didn't even know it had an original, but I picked it up because it was 8 quid and I saw it was undervalued. Now, I do really like Asterix and Obelix. I've been to the theme park in Paris, or maybe is it just outside Paris. I went there as a kid, really enjoyed myself, and I have watched some of the cartoons in the past as well and enjoyed them, so I thought, well, I'll pick up the video game. There is a video game of Asterix and Obelix that really does look good, and I will absolutely pick that up, and I probably will enjoy it. I'll pick that up and I will keep that, I'll play that through, but the XXL series just isn't my thing. So I looked to see how much it was going for, and I decided I was just going to sell it. Now, I did this a little while ago. No one noticed. I do show overlays of my Switch collection quite often, to be fair, but no one mentioned it in the comments. Maybe you thought I was playing it, or maybe just didn't notice or whatever, but I have sold it. Now, I can't remember how much I sold it for. I'll show you on screen, but of course, that money that we spent, $7.99, has already been taken out of the cash profit, so all of the money that we've made there on that game, the amount that we've sold it for, will go back into the cash profit minus fees and everything. So we're going to top it back up slightly. I do need, though, to find things to sell quite quickly. May have found a few things in that boot sale on the weekend, which you'll probably see in the next episode. So as Mario takes a little bit of a nap behind me, I went through my attic. I was putting some furniture away. I did a little bit of a rearrange in this room. I got a little bit of a bench. I'll show you a room tour, by the way. I know a lot of people have been asking. I have something coming that I'm doing like a collab with that I'm going to do in this sort of room tour video. So it is coming. I will show you everything, and we'll keep changing the angles so you get to see more of the room more often. But anyway, I was in the attic and I found a bag that had a lot of music CDs in there, but also a couple of games. So the first one, brand new and sealed, from 2001. This is Tetris Worlds. This was given to me by my mother or something, that it came with her PC or whatever it was when she bought it. But like I said, it's from 2001, so this is old. But I think it could probably get me a $5. The next two I bought during lockdown-ish times. There was a guy in my local town. He had like a market stall, if you will, and he sold video games. I've mentioned him before. I got like Silent Hill off him and Star Ocean on the PS1, and he did some really good deals for me. I bought a massive Sega Master System bundle off him, paid like 120 quid, and I got like, I don't know, 20, 30 games and a boxed console. But he knew the value of these things. He just sold it to me cheap, just wanted to move it on and keep going through the product. But anyway, I bought these two off him as well. Now, unfortunately, they were sealed, one of which has now been opened. Guitar Hero World Tour. It was rattling around. I opened it to see if it was okay, and it was. This one is doing the same thing. So I know it's fine, but the plastic inside is broken. So for the sealed one, I'm looking for between 12 and 15, and for the not so sealed one, between 8 and 10. I will take a little bit less if absolutely necessary, but I'm going to add those two and Tetris World value to the cash balance of the series. These next two will never be played. I own them digitally anyway, but this is the way that I played these, and I've mentioned them before. It is Command & Conquer Tiberium Wars and Command & Conquer Kane's Wrath. As you can see from GameStation back in the day, I think I even wrote that myself. This game, absolutely incredible. Lots and lots of fun to be had here. These are going to go on the shelf just purely for nostalgia. I can't play them. I don't have a disc drive in my PC. When I built it, I just didn't include one because I thought, why am I ever going to need that? Turns out, maybe to play these two games. But like I said, I have them digitally anyway, so I will fire them up again soon. But wow. This is a great game. If you have never played this, but you're into your like RTSs, then you probably have played it, but you really should give this a go. Let's jump back to CEX very briefly, because I do have one more pickup from there that I've been waiting to just ram into a video somewhere, so we might as well do this. And I've actually been dying to play it as well. I loved it the first time I played it. Before we get there though, if I had like a secondary collection, so a video game collection that I had in addition to the free one that we're building here, then I would just show you in one video, and then maybe I would be like, right, we are going to build up the cash balance to however much this is all worth, and then we're just going to sort of introduce it in. But I don't. I just have a few games lying around in boxes or in bags or something, so if and when I find them, I'll incorporate them. The two Command & Conquer games, I mean, I can't remember how much I paid for Tiberium Wars. I know Kane's Wrath obviously cost me 15 quid minus the discount I would have had on it, but I'm not going to deduct any money from the series for those, because I've more than got my money's worth for those. Plus I bought them well over 10-15 years ago at this point, so yeah, they don't really owe me anything at this point. Anyway, with that being said, the game I bought in CEX was an Xbox 360 game, The Saboteur. I'm editing this and it just doesn't sound right. Saboteur? I think it might be Saboteur. I don't know. Not my first language. Leave me alone. I love this game to the point where I actually bought the guide for it when it came out. I think I kind of needed it once upon a time. You are part of the French resistance trying to almost liberate Paris from the Nazis, I guess. There is obviously a little bit more to it, but yeah, pretty much. What a game. Honestly, I see people talk about it every now and again. When you go and watch an underrated video games video, this will be there, but it hasn't ever got to the point where people appreciate it. You know, it's always one of those underappreciated games, and people don't talk about it enough, even though it's in every one of those underappreciated videos. I urge anyone who hasn't played this, even if you have played it, to go and play it. I've been waiting to pick it up because I wanted it in good condition. Has the manual, is in good condition, and at the time cost me 4 quid. I think it's gone up since I bought this. I bought this a long time ago. I really wish they put the dates on the CEX stickers. All I know is Joel was the one who priced it up. But apart from that, we're going to take £4 off the cash balance. We've taken some away, we've added some, we're going to take some away again. But yeah, that's going to go into the collection. I now have no more CEX random cash pickups lying around. Mario Tennis and Saboteur have been on my shelf for so long, waiting to just shove into a video. But there we go. Now into a bit of a weird one. This has also been on my shelf for a long time. So if you remember, I don't even know how long ago now. If you've not been watching the series, you won't know. But I've mentioned trading in my boxed PS2 for the longest time. And if you're wondering, it does still trade in for £101, which has actually gone up a little bit from the original time I wanted to trade it in. I actually took it once to my local CEX. They started looking at it. They gave me the value of it because I was like, oh, how much did it trade in for? Even though I knew, I just wanted them to tell me. And they told me it was like 84 quid at the time or something. I think that's actually now the cash price. But I kind of slipped up, to be fair. I mean, they may have noticed, but I couldn't be bothered to wait if they weren't going to give it to me. I said to them, does it need the inserts or is it okay the way it is? And even though they'd already taken it all out of the box, they'd looked it over, of course they still needed to test it. They were like, oh, actually, yeah, it does need the inserts. And they put it all straight back in the box and gave it back to me. So that was a bit frustrating. He said he could have taken it as unboxed. But I don't know whether I would have got away with it or not. Had it not had the inserts, if I hadn't mentioned it. But still, can't actually trade the console in just yet unless they maybe take it with cobbled inserts. However, my point is, the reason I wanted to trade that console in the first place is because I think £101 for a boxed PS2 is way, way too overpriced. They actually charge £145 if you want to buy this from them. Who's buying that? I'll never know. That is a ridiculous price. I had a fat PS2 when I was growing up with Gran Turismo. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And to be fair, that's kind of what I want in the future. I want the Gran Turismo box for the PS2. So I'm kind of happy to get rid of the blue one, which was the original. But I'm in no rush, and that's fine. But my wife knows this. My wife knows that I'm not content with my PS2, and I do want a slim one at some point. So she came home one day. She had been to a charity shop, and she bought something. A slim PS2. Now, it still has the charity shop sticker on it. She paid $9.99. Now, it does say some other stuff on there, and I'll get to that in a second. I'd love to be able to tell you how long this has been sat behind me. It has been there for a long time. Well over 5 months, possibly even 6 months at this point. It was before Christmas, I know that, so it probably was about 6 months. It's been sat there. Why has it been sat there? Why have I taken until now to introduce this? Well, it does say, I don't know if you can read it, and maybe I'll give you a bit of a close-up. It says, needs power cable. For the longest time, I was unable to test this. Now, yes, I could have bought a power cable for a PS2 on eBay for between 10 and 15 quid. You can get them, the official ones, you can even get an unofficial one, maybe even a little bit cheaper. But I am very patient these days. I was in absolutely no rush. I waited. So I wasn't worried this wasn't going to work. I just knew that I needed the power cable to make it complete, if you will. And it's taken me around 6 months, maybe even longer, but I have finally found a power supply in a car boot sale. I have footage of the boxes and the cables and everything, but I don't actually have footage of me picking this up. This was, I think it was 50p. It is in a bit of a state, and I do need to clean it because it does have some stains on it here or there. But this, my friends, is an official PlayStation 2 Slim power supply with the figure 8 cable, or what I like to call a kettle lead, and the power supply and everything. Yeah, there it is, and I have tested it and it works perfectly well. There's no whining, there's no noise or anything. It powers, it doesn't get too hot. It is in perfect working order. That cost me, I'll say £1. I'm pretty sure it cost me 50p, but I'll say £1 anyway. I bought a lot that day, and you'll see that in the next episode. But yeah, for £1 and for $9.99 that cost me, because obviously I had to give her the money back, 11 quid for a slim PlayStation 2. Pretty good going. Now, of course, that doesn't come with a controller, but we do already have one from the boxed PlayStation 2. I'm going to keep that for the time being. I'm in absolutely no rush to cash in on that. Yes, it may come down the Sega Mega Drive 2 console has actually come down in price in CEX. They were trading that for 40. I think they now trade it for like 35, 36. And it is a bit of a shame because we do have two of them, one of which is on display just randomly, and then the other one I use quite regularly these days. But again, I'm in no rush. I'm going to keep them for the time being. If I ever need one for trade or to barter with someone else, then I have one. And to be fair, quite like having one on display anyway. And that's going to be the exact same case with the boxed PS2. That will remain on display. I'll take the controller out of the box because it is packed away, and I will set this up, and then I will start playing some PlayStation 2 games. Correct me if I'm wrong, does this play PS1 games? I know the PS3 does anyway, but does this? Pretty sure it does, right? But before I leave you today, I do have one more pickup. It's gone very dark, the rain is lashing against the window. Let's get through this quickly. I know the comment section like to make fun of me of what I'll do for CEX credit, but people haven't quite cottoned on to what I would do for Vinted deals, because, ladies and gentlemen, I've done it again. This was £5 plus postage. It is the Disney Classic Games collection, so the Jungle Book, Aladdin and The Lion King, as you can see behind me. This was really confusing because, of course, there's two versions of this. There's the Aladdin and The Lion King version, and then there's this one with the Jungle Book. The cartridge, however, doesn't show the Jungle Book. It literally just says Aladdin and The Lion King. And then when you put it into the console, the icon that shows up will literally just show you Aladdin and The Lion King. And then when you start the game, it says purchase content now added. When you buy this game, it may be a little bit confusing, and you may get done by the fact that Jungle Book might not be on it, because if you buy the normal Aladdin and Lion King version, of course Jungle Book shouldn't be on it. So yeah, it's a bit confusing, but for £5 plus a little bit of a postage and fee, so I'll round it up to 8, even though I think it was like 7 something, that is an insanely good deal. Aladdin, one of my favourite Disney films of all time. Lion King not too far behind it. Jungle Book is banging, and I loved Aladdin and the Lion King games growing up. Don't think I ever played the Jungle Book actually on the Mega Drive, but I do remember playing the other two a lot. Lion King was so hard. Aladdin was a lot of fun. Haven't played these yet on the Switch, although I will do in time. That in CEX is 25 quid. It trades in for double what I bought it for at 16. So we've done really well there. I do have another couple of decent Switch pickups from Vinted to show you in other episodes. But that is going to conclude today's episode. I do apologise for the lighting. I've got no idea what's happened. If you want to check out another video from me, you can click here. And until the next time, goodbye.